Hi, this is Lynette, and this is the 21st Century Watchman channel, and we are in Job today. It's about time. I'm so excited about this portion of Job because we introduced another person. We've talked to quite a few of them. We Eliphaz and the others, and Zophar and Bildad. And now it's time for our boy, a new one, young man this time. The youngin thought he would get, something going and have his conversation. He'd have his due this time. His name is Elihu. And Elihu. I think I kept calling him Elihu, but Elihu is what he's actually called. And his name means my God is he. So that, like Elijah has his, that Eli is the part with my God, but his name is Elihu, and his name, and he is name means my God is he again. So let's get right into it. I have chapters 32 through 34. I have the pleasure of having these, and I'm way excited. So let's get going. All right, we're ready. So it starts off with, then these three men ceased answering Job. After Job gave his rebuttal last time in chapter 31 with Sister Trudy yesterday, these three men ceased answering Job because he was righteous in his own eyes. That's a problem for them. He was righteous in his own eyes. Well, and I would like to say, when you've done all you know to do that's right, and you've done it right all this time, how can you not be righteous in your own eyes? I honestly know that, if you've done all the right things, maybe you can just say, I did the right things. And, but if you've done all the right things, he said he had fed the poor and he took care of the widows, and he rescued, people, and he had taken care of his family, and he had wisdom, and he was giving offerings, as for his children, sacrificing for them in case they sinned at the party. So he had done quite a bit right. I mean, just in Job's defense, I'm just going to say, but what do I know? I'm looking at just reading the word. But let's go on to it. It says, but the anger of Elihu, the son of Barashel the Buzite. I think he's most probably from the line of Buz, who was the second son of Nahor and Milcah, which was Abraham's brother and sister-in-law, by the way. So he's probably in that line, just so you know. He says of the family, so he's Barashel the Buzite of the family of Ram burned against Job. His anger burned because he justified himself before God, and his anger burned also against Job's three friends because they had found no answer and yet had condemned Job. Now, Elihu had waited to speak to Job because they were years older than he, and when Elihu saw that there was no answer in the mouth of the three men, his anger burned. So Elihu, the son of Barashel, the Buzite, spoke out and said, so he's hot. You know how he had been holding it all this time, but now he's hot, right? I am young in years and you are old. Therefore, I was shy and afraid to tell you what I think. I thought age should speak. Oh, okay, though. And increased years should teach wisdom, but it is a spirit in a man, and the breath of the Almighty gives them understanding. So, understanding, he's saying that his spirit makes him mature. Basically, what they had going on, all they had was age. Age ain't nothing but a number. Basically, is what he's saying. The abundant in years may not be wise, nor may elders understand justice. So I say, listen to me. I too will tell what I think. Behold, I waited for your words. I listened to your reasons or your reasonings. While you pondered what to say, I even paid close attention to you. Oh, now. Indeed, there was no one who refuted Job. Not one of you had answered for his words. Do not say, we have found wisdom. God will rout not man. Ooh, do not say we have found wisdom, because they're not wise as far as this guy is concerned. Do not say that. Please don't even say y'all wise, because none of y'all wise. This is what he's saying. He's just done. See, he says, for he has not arranged his words against me, nor will I reply to him with your arguments. Okay. They are dismayed. They no longer answer. Words have failed them. Shall I wait because they do not speak? Because they stop and no longer answer? I too will answer my share. I will also tell my opinion. I'm about to tell you all how I'm really feeling about this. I guess the young buck had something to say. They let him they let him come into the room, and there's a danger of letting the young people in the room. You want them to glean, but sometimes you got to sit back and they have something to say. You let them in the room. So you made the apprentice is now becoming the teacher. How interesting, right? He says, for I am full of words. The spirit within me constrains me. So the spirit was telling him to be quiet. It constrains him, but he was, or restrains him. He was trying to do it and it wasn't working. Behold, my belly is like unvented wine. Like new wineskins, it is about to burst. He's ready to blow. He's ready to blow. Let me speak that I may get relief. Let me open my lips and answer. Let me now be partial to no one, nor flatter any man, for I do not know how to flatter. Else my maker would soon take me away. I don't even know how to give in. I'm not trying to kiss anybody's behind. Basically, I'm just saying this is what he's saying. I'm not trying to be your friend up in here. I don't care. I don't need you. Y'all can cancel me if you want to. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. And we'll see how this works out for him, right? So that's the end of chapter 32. So he was basically letting me introduce myself. I mean, really, that's what it was. I'm the, I'm the E to the L to the I to the H to the U. He let me introduce myself. This was the whole chapter was on let me introduce myself. And here's what I got to say. And I'm talking about y'all putting all of y'all in check. Okay, though, Elihu. Okay. So, however, now, Job, this is verse 30, chapter 33. However, now, Job, please hear my speech and listen to all my words. Behold, now I open my mouth. My tongue in my mouth speaks. Okay, like where else was the tongue gonna be? He clearly said he was with that he had a lot, he was full of words. It's clear because if that wasn't a redundant situation, but okay though. My words are from the uprightness of my heart, and my lips speak knowledge sincerely. Okay. The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life. Refute me if you can. Oh, okay. Now, Job put three wise men in check. You think he can't have nothing to say to this little boy? I'm just saying. He put three wise men in check. You think he don't have nothing to say to this little boy? Job been bantering back and forth for a minute. But okay, though, if that's how he wants to roll. He says, array yourselves before me, take your stand. Behold, I belong to God like you. I too have been formed out of the clay. Behold, no fear of me should terrify you. Okay. Because apparently nobody in there put no fear in his heart. Okay, though, Elihu. Nor should my pressure weigh heavily on you. Don't be pressed by what I'm saying, Job. Don't be pressed. That's what he's saying. Okay, well, I guess Job should not be pressed. Surely you have spoken in my hearing, and I have heard the sound of your words. I am pure, because he's repeating Job's words back to him. I am pure without transgression. I am innocent, and there is no guilt in me. Behold, he, talking about the Lord, invents pretext against me. He counts me as his enemy. Now, Job said the Lord invents, like makes things against him. I'm saying that's what he's saying. He puts my feet in the stocks. He watches all my paths. Behold, let me tell you, you are not right in this. For God is greater than man. He's right about that. Why do you complain against him that he does not give an account of all his doings? Indeed, God speaks once or twice, yet no one notices it. Real quiet, real. That's true. I mean, I'm just gonna say facts, all facts here. Then he says, um, in a dream, a vision of the night, when sound sleep falls on men while they slumber in their beds, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction. So God can talk to you in a dream or a vision. when we're all asleep. So God speaks all the time. We're just not listening. That's what he's saying. And he says, and he seals that their instruction, that he may turn man aside from his conduct. So we letting them know that God's trying to speak to so we can get better. He says, and keep man from pride. He keeps back his soul from the pit. That's what the Lord's doing for us. And his life from passing over into Sheol, excuse me. Man is also chastened with pain on his bed. What that sound like? I'm coming for you now, Job. And with unceasing complaint in his bones, so that his life loathes bread, and his soul favored food. His flesh wastes away from sight, and his bones, which were not seen, stick out. Who he talking about? He coming for Job for real. Then his soul draws near to the pit, and his life to those who bring death. Oh wow. If there's an angel as a mediator for him, one out of 1,000, to remind a man what is right for him, then let him be gracious to him and say, deliver him from from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. See, here he is saying, an angel might come and, and say, okay, I found somebody. I found a ransom. Let me, save this man, basically. If he acts right, basically. He says, let his flesh become fresher than in youth. Let him return to the days of his youthful vigor. Then he will pray to God and he will accept him, that he may see his face with joy. So if he turns from if he just acts right and just sort of basically owns his stuff, and and pray to and pray for an angel and for healing, it will come. Basically, is what he's saying. He says, and he may restore his righteousness to man. So the Lord will restore his righteousness to man, that he may see his face with joy again, and he may restore his righteousness to man. That I just can't get over that part. That if he'll be able to look on the Lord's face, and with joy, if he does the right thing. He says, he will sing to men and say, I have sinned and perverted what is right, and it is not proper for me. He has redeemed my soul. So, in other words, before I go there, he will sing to men and say, so the Lord singing to men and say, I guess I have sinned and perverted what is right, and it is not proper for me. He has redeemed my soul from going to the pit. This is what I guess is what he's say that Job should say. I have sinned and perverted what is right, and it's not proper for me. So he's talking about now. The Lord has redeemed my soul from going to the pit, and my life shall see the light. Okay, we know. So he's basically this. How is this different right here from what everybody else already said? This boy said he has something new to give to the world, and he's not giving anything new. These are still the same old stuff. This is what I'm hearing. Oh boy, gets really wanting to talk. I'm just saying his perspective is not really. It might be young and fresh, and it might be straight in your face. But I mean, maybe a little bit of the verbiage is a little different. But he's still condemning Job in his own way. His own little way to me. All right. He says, pay attention, oh Job, listen to me. Keep silent and let me speak. All right, Job, all eyes on me. I'm right here, boo. I'm right here. Okay. Pay attention, oh Job, listen to me. Like Job falling asleep. I mean, that's kind of disrespectful. Just say your piece, bruh. Now you're going to tell him to pay attention to me? Listen to me? Just keep silent and let me speak. Then if you have anything to say, answer me. Speak, for I desire to justify you. If not, listen to me. Keep silent, and I will teach you wisdom. Oh, okay. Keep silent, and I will teach you something. Is that how you talk to your elders? I understand that he has surpassed, he felt like he had surpassed their wisdom because they couldn't do anything. And so he felt like he was defending God. So I will say that. So then in chapter 34, it's going fast. You see how quick it is. Then Elihu continued and said, hear my words, you wise men, and listen to me, you who know. For the ear tests words as the palate tastes foods. Let us choose for ourselves what is right. Let us know among ourselves what is good. Okay. So he said we should have been discussing this among ourselves. We should have been talking about this amongst ourselves. We shouldn't have been just saying stuff to Job. We should have been trying to figure out what's going on here. What's really good, Job? What's really good? All right. For Job has said, I am righteous, but God has taken away my right. Should I lie concerning my right? My wound is incurable, though I am without transgression. What man is like Job, who drinks up derision like water? Okay, though. I mean, it's a whole bunch of mess going on here. What man is like Job? That's what he's saying. I mean, and he's being sarcastic. Oh my God. Who goes in company with the workers of iniquity and walks with the wicked men? For he has said, it profits a man nothing when he is pleased with God. So Job was saying, I've been doing my best and I'm trying to walk with the Lord, and I've been doing it all this time, and I'm not getting nothing out of this. That's what Job is saying. Is that wrong? Is he wrong for saying that? I mean, I'm just saying that's how he's feeling. I think that the lesson learned here for Job, especially with Elihu speaking, is to keep your mouth closed when you're having an issue with the Lord. These are my thoughts. Just keep your mouth closed when you're having an issue with the Lord. But we're going to keep on going. He says, God, therefore listen to me, you men of understanding. Far be it from God to do wickedness, and from the Almighty to do wrong. For he pays a man according to his work, and makes him find it according to his way. Of course, surely God would not act wickedly. So he's going back to that argument again, that Job must have done something. Look at Job's life. Look how it's ended up. He must have done something wrong, because God would not act wickedly. And he's correct. The Lord allowed Satan to act wickedly, but the Lord is not repaying Job for anything. This is not what this is. Who says, who gave him authority over the earth, and who laid on him the whole world? If he should determine to do so, if he should gather to himself his spirit and his breath, all flesh would perish together, and man will return to dust. So please, please. He's saying man would just go if God really pleased. I mean, if God felt like it. So how can we call God on the carpet? How can we say it's you're messed up, God? How dare Job? Basically, how dare Job talking about the Almighty? So he's vindicating God's justice, because he believes that this is God's justice. This is not God's test. This is not God allowing a trial. This is God's justice. And so because it's God, it is justice. And because they've never seen a trial. Now, this man is not any more right in this way than any of the others. So far, the argument has been the same, right? So far, the argument. So I haven't seen anything different, and we're in the third chapter of this. First, he introduced himself because he was the E to the L to the I to the H to the U. He's doing too much. I'm just saying. That's who he was. But he says, but if you have understanding, hear this. Listen to the sound of my words. Really? Shall one who hates justice rule? And will you condemn the righteous mighty one? So what I'm saying now, rather than stressing the idea that suffering is a punishment of sinful actions, like all the other guys said, Elihu concentrates on Job's sinful reaction to his undeserved suffering. That's what he does. He's not concerned so much about Job being punished or like that suffering is due to punishment. He's concentrating on Job's reaction. So it's how Job is acting and the words Job is saying. Who says to a king, worthless one, to nobles, wicked ones? So how can we tell God you're wrong for that? How can we say that to God? You're wrong for that. That's what he's saying. There's some disrespect going on here. The reverence is not there. The fear of the Lord is not there. He says it in one hand, but I would have encouraged Elihu to listen to everything Job said. But let's keep going. To nobles, and so this is verse 18 again of chapter 34. Who says to a king, worthless one, to nobles, wicked ones? Who shows no partiality to princes, nor regards the rich above the poor? For they are all the work of his hands. That's the truth. I mean, nobody talks to the king that way, no matter how wrong or right he is. We're not going to go tell the president he's wrong. We're going to protest in a crowd, but we're not going to just say it one-on-one. It's just not going to happen, because there's a certain respect that's given to the office. As far as Elihu was concerned, Job had disrespected the office. That's the problem. And with that Elihu has with how Job is coming off. That's his main problem. That's his new argument. He introduces the fact that Job was disrespectful and that he disrespects God. And I mean, you can't say that he's wrong, but you also have to remember that Job went back from praying, and he went back and forth between venting and going through and defending himself, along with because he was defending himself. He doesn't remember the times when Job was saying other things. Job didn't just say stupid stuff. He said a lot of other stuff too. I'm just saying he didn't just say stupid stuff. According to me, from what I'm saying, he talks to the Lord, and he lets the Lord know that he's not that he is following him, and that he loves him, and that he's repentant in a whole little bit. Job's not the only. It's not just going crazy over God. He's not just saying bad things. He's not saying everything wrong, but he is upset, and I can and understandably so, since we know the whole story. We're not in the moment like Elihu is. All right. So I'll go for go a little further down. He says, when he keeps quiet, who then can condemn? And when he hides his face, who then can behold him? So that godless men would not rule, nor be snares of the people. For has anyone said to God, I have borne chastisement? No, nobody said that. I will not offend anymore. So that's what he's saying. Teach me what I do not see. If I have done iniquity, I will not do it again. So he's saying, if you just say that, Job, just say that I've borne chastisement. I've done something wrong. He's back on their argument again, that he must have done something wrong. He says, shall he recompense on your on your terms, because you have rejected it? For you must choose and not I. Therefore, declare what you know. Men of understanding will say to me, and a wise man who hears me. Job speaks without knowledge. Job just doesn't know. And his words are without wisdom, and that's strange, because Job's 28, when I ended the last time, Job said the beginning of that wisdom was the fear of the Lord. He said that. It says Job ought to be tried to the limit. Because he answers like wicked men, for he adds rebellion to his sin. So he's already sinful as far as what he's gone through, and the thing that he's been accusing them of, or they've been accusing him of from the beginning. But now he says he's adding rebellion, and that's what this boy brings to the table. He brings the rebellion and his disrespect of God. He claps his hands among us and multiplies his words against God. We've got to. So and this is the end of chapter 35 or 34, excuse me. What I do get from this, and I hope that you got the same thing, is that we have to make sure that our posture stays straight. We have to keep our word. If we have harmful words and we're angry, God is not our buddy. He's a friend to us, but we can't forget who he is. I always remind my kids that I'm, even though I'm, I try to be friendly, and I want, them to come to me and feel good about us, our relationship. God, they're not my peers. And there's a respect that goes along just by the title that I hold. There's a title that God holds, and there's stuff we must make sure that we stay in our place. A child stay in a child's place. We're God's children. Job's words didn't reflect that. Job's word didn't reflect that he stayed in his place. Every now and then he got a little crazy, saying he was righteous. We are even at our best, we're less than a filthy rag. He forgot who he was. He forgot whose he was. At times, his words got a little reckless, and therefore this boy was able to call him the carpet on his disrespect. And so he still reverenced God, and he didn't curse God, but he was angry, and hurt people. That's what was happening. He's hurt, and he was, trying to get his own little end, and saying what he felt. I don't know how to express it. You know how kids, when they go too far, Job had gone too far. And that was the problem. He hadn't put any respect on his name. He forgot. And, and in a few chapters, there's that little TikTok song I've heard too many times. I'm pulling up on you. Put some respect on my name. In a few chapters, God's about to pull up on him. And then Job's really gonna put some respect on his name. So I leave you with make sure that when you're complaining, that you complain like he's not your peer. Ask if there any sin that I've done. Be reverent, be fearful, both respectful and real fear, because he can wipe you out without even, with one blink and it's over with. He gave you breath. Like, back in the day, your mama would say, you know, I, I brought you into this world. I can take you out. Really, really, for real though, he can do that. And so we need to make sure that we're clear as there's levels, and we not on God's level, never will be. And so we have to keep in mind that the posture has to be one of respect all the time, or he will put us in check. All right, you all have a great one. Y'all met Elihu. Let's see what else he has to say tomorrow. You all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. It's about time. See y'all later. Have a great one, and we out.